Welcome back, everybody. So for this next interview, I am with Sophie Deschamps from Dolphina Collective. Hey, Sophie.
Hi, Evelyn. How are
Hello.
you?
Good, and you?
I'm awesome.
Yes. Are you in confined in Kingston?
We're not in the red zone like you guys, but I'm assuming it's going to be coming soon.
Yeah. So
Unfortunately.
you can still enjoy going outside and walking in the parks and everything.
Oh, I'm very lucky. I live in the country and we are like in the middle of pines and
So
not too much like neighbors, so the confinement for me hasn't been too hard.
that's nice. And your neighbors are pine, so you're okay. You won't get anything from them.
No, it's fine. They're pretty
So for
far, so it's pretty good. And I
yeah,
don't see
yeah.
them, so it's great.
There are so many people right now who wish they lived in the countryside, so you're really lucky.
Oh, I'm really happy I don't live in a condo in Montreal or in Toronto.
Yeah. So for the next part of the evening tonight, we have a focus on podcasts.
Yeah.
So that's why we invited Sophie tonight to talk to us about her podcast that she has on YouTube. But first, before diving in this subject, if you want to tell us a little about your knitting life, the history you have with knitting, what's your relationship with it, how it all started for you.
So I've always been crafty as far as I can remember. I got as a present my first sewing machine. I was about 7, and shortly after that, I begged my mom and my aunt because my aunt was part of a very big guild in Quebec. You're probably familiar with it. She was like part of the fermière, and she was actually into everything. She had 3 looms. She was knitting. She was crocheting. She was doing embroidery, and okay, she was really involved in crafts and everything. And I begged her and begged my mother to teach me. And I'm very visual, and I couldn't actually like see properly sitting like in front of them how to actually do it. So, anyways, a year later, I'm at the grocery store. There's this coloring book, Learn How to Knit. And I begged my mom for like many weeks. And then eventually she gave in. And I taught myself how to knit from a coloring book. And I actually still have it.
Really? And it was clear enough for you to follow the instructions and everything? Oh, but
It's
you were
old.
patient and good, yeah.
Well, and then the funny thing is I never really stopped knitting. So I really started when I was really, really young, and I never really stopped. And then I went to college in Montreal because I'm from Saint-Joseph, Quebec. I went to college in Montreal, and I was taking the subway every day to go to school or to go to work. And I was knitting in the subway back in the early 90s when it wasn't really like the thing to do. So yeah. So
So
you can
you've been,
imagine that, the raver, because I was really into like techno music. I had like these like super big shoes and everything, and I would whip my knitting out, and people would look at me like I was a extraterrestrial or a Martian or something like that.
yeah. And it was a very big thing knitting maybe before that and after right now, but maybe in the 90s, not so much, yeah.
Maybe not so much, exactly.
Yeah.
So
And did
yep.
you also learn with your mother and your aunt to weave, for example, or another craft that you do?
They taught me how to sew, but I'm very self-taught. So if I watch someone do something or if I look at books, then everything just, yeah,
Opens up for you.
yep,
You learn better when you make it yourself.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And how did you learn to make a podcast?
Well,
What
again,
happened
same
there?
thing.
Yeah.
Like, um, I just turned 45, so for me, it was kind of a very new thing. So with confinement, and I've been off work for almost I'm going on like 3.5 years. So I watched a lot of tutorial on YouTube on how to edit, how to have a better sound, and anyways, and that's really the way I did it. And I remember back when I wanted to start my channel, I had reached out to Chrissy Glass and I wanted her on my channel. So that was back in March, early confinement, and procrastination sat in, and I was like, oh, I don't feel like it. Like I was finding every excuse in the book not to do it. And then in June, she was like, are you ready for this? And I was like, sure. And she was my first interview, and then from there it just.
So you had a very A-list first interview.
Well, the first interview, but the funny thing is my two first guests. So the way my channel works is I have a French guest one week and I have an English guest the following week. So because June is Pride Month, I wanted some people that were part of the LGBTQ community. So my first guest was Cabin Boynitz, and then my second guest was Jean-Philippe Clich. So that's how it started.
Yeah, that's nice. And all these videos or these podcasts, they are on your YouTube channel, and we will put all the links in the either in the comments or in the description of the video for people to go and see the podcast. And you also have a very nice formula for it. It's really quick and fun. 75 questions that you.
So where it's coming from. So I'm a big fan of Chrissy Glass, and I wanted to do something more personal. So a lot of people know like the general stuff about the fiber people, like what actually they're doing more for the fiber community. But I wanted more like a background view, like a more personal view. Like, of course, I have fiber questions, but I wanted to have like more a deeper like conversation with those people. So I discovered on the Vogue channel on YouTube, it was 73 questions with a celebrity. And that's where the idea came from. And because I was born in 75, that's where the 75 questions from.
Yeah. But it really shows, it really makes the interviews, as you said, really personal, because you have a lot of time with them. And the questions, sometimes they are a little off the beaten path. So it's the questions, maybe they're not used to answer in public, but it's really nice to hear them talk about their life.
Like, sometimes it's a very generic question, like, are you more sweet or salty? Or I really like asking more like deeper questions, which is really cool. And sometimes, I mean, it's quick, and in other instances, it's a little longer because I get to the editing part and it's like, I don't want to cut anything. So some episodes are a little longer, some are a little shorter.
Yeah, it's nice. So different rhythms also.
Yep, exactly.
And so we will put the link for that. And also I want to talk to you about your project bag line, because you have an Etsy shop with lots of very, very nice products.
Well, right
and you
now,
make
I don't have that much in the shop right now because I'm getting ready for 2 big events. So I'm actually collaborating with my friend Megan from Native Fiber. She is from Charlotte, North Carolina. So we're doing Indian Tango together. So I cannot show everything, but I'm actually gonna have kind of a custom collection just for her that it reflects more her aesthetic. So I can show a few things that I've been working on in the last weeks. So these are like, she's more like a woodsy, she's indigenous. So it's more like, the forest, the mountain.
The patterns on the fabric are more like a forest and trees and.
Exactly. So we have like a secret bag, or it's actually a secret kit that will be just for Indian Tangle. And I also have a virtual kind of like a virtual festival that was supposed to take place in Black Mountain, North Carolina. And because it's been, well, we can't cross the border, so there's no point for me to go anywhere. But anyways, I'm getting ready for a super big update. I don't want to say too much because I want to keep it as a secret, but it's going to be a massive update. So I'm really excited about that.
And people can find this update and get the notification on your Instagram account, I figure?
Absolutely. I'll talk about it like plenty. I'm about to shut down my Etsy shop for a couple of weeks so I can get ready and really have like as much stuff as possible. But there's a lot of like fun collaborations that are actually coming.
So you have a very busy October month.
Oh, October is absolutely bananas.
Bananas, yeah. And a little bit before Christmas and a lot of special collaborations and everything.
Yeah, I work a lot. Like the reason why Dolphina turned into Dolphina Collective is because I like to pair yarn with my bags. So I also am a retailer for Pretty String from Ottawa, Timber Yarns from Guelph, and I also carry some Primrose from Pennsylvania. So I have a couple of like exclusive colorway just made for me with Timber Yarns. So this past summer I just released, because I'm a gin drinker, so I have a special gin and tonic bag and a gin and tonic self-strapping yarn. And for Twist last year, I actually asked her, I showed her like palette that's really reflecting my favorite colors, and came up with this, and it's called Dolphina, and this is mine.
Yeah.
So it's like light pink, a little bit the same, like a kind of a coral, like light pink, and some kind of teal and beige and browns. So this is called Dolphina, and it will be available in my shop update at the end of the month. So
the very, very big shop update.
And
do you have will you have a bag that matches it?
Not for this one. Not right now. There might be some coming
in the future.
And I have a really big, so I get most of my fabric from Spoonflower, which is how do they call it? It's like an on-demand printing company. So you have like a selection of about 70 different fabrics to choose from. And then you can pick your own graphic designer. So I have some favorites. I try to support as much as I can a Canadian graphic designer, and one of them is actually from BC. Her name is Cynthia Fournette, and she has what they calls it like a story collection. So you have to be like I used to be a correctional officer, so unfortunately I used to swear.
Is she the one who made
my personality a little bit?
Yeah, is she the one who made the pattern with the little skulls and the knitting needles like this?
That's exactly it.
This one, it's so nice. I really like it. It's really like it's cute and badass at the same time.
Well, exactly, and because I love tattoos, and I'm pretty much covered. Like I have long sleeves because I was freezing, but yeah. So a lot of like tattoo, like old school inspired fabrics. So there's like some of them that are quarantine related. Some of them are just plain, just
but
plain crazy.
But they're all personal. So that's what's nice also, yeah.
Exactly.
And exclusive,
The funny thing is this fabric is actually from her, and it was originally a towel, and I actually reached out to her and I was like, I make project bags for knitters. Is there any way you can shrink the pattern? And she did. So I don't know if you see it, but it says when life ends in tonic. So
yeah,
that's why I thought it was pretty like appropriate for me.
That's how I like it too. So we
yeah,
will.
that's what's in my glass right now. So
Yeah, that's what will be in my glass in a few minutes too.
yay!
So we will stay focused on this shop update that you will have at the end of the month, I think. Yeah, the end, yes?
Yep, October
Yeah, perfect.
31st.
Excellent. And in the meantime, we really encourage everybody to go check out the YouTube page of Dolphina
So
Collective.
I'm
You
super
have a lot of,
excited. This week,
yeah.
I have a Quebec. She's not an artist. She's a new podcaster too. So I had Janar a few weeks ago, and I actually asked a few questions. And Karen, it's funny because most of the people that I interview are friends or people that I met in person. But I fell in love with Karen, and I actually slipped into her DMs, and we started to chat, and we really connected. And I was like, "Do you want to be on my channel?" She said yes. So yeah, it's really
So
fun. Like,
you became friends on the way.
so I haven't met her yet. So I'm looking forward to 2021. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we can actually get in, like, we can get together in person, and yeah, super
Yeah,
excited.
sure. I so hope we can meet as well in 2021. I can't wait
Like,
to
I
meet
have big
people in
plans for
person.
us this year and everything, and
Yeah,
fingers
of
crossed.
course. Us too.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. So we keep our fingers crossed for next year, and in the meantime, we keep on connecting virtually. So thank
Absolutely.
you very much, Sophie, for having been there with us tonight, and I wish you all the best for this big month that's coming up. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Bye
Evelyn.
bye.
Bye, guys.